Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my series where we're making a game similar to the game The Binding of Isaac. In a previous video, at some point, we made cards, I think, and so it's just a rectangle pretty much, and I beveled the edges. I'm not going to go into Blender and show you how to make it because hopefully you can make it if you've been following the series already. Yeah, so basically the way it's working is you walk into the card and it picks it up, and then I'm going to make it so you press right click and it will use the card. We did start making a card effect already as well, but I think it sucks, so... I mean, it's not that bad, I guess. I don't know. Let's just play that again. Hang on. Play. So it's shooting like a beam of light or something. I don't really like that very much. Let's delete this and we're just gonna go into Blender. Oh my god, guys, I just had the best idea ever. What if I take the light that's in the scene? Not this one. I started making a visual effect, but I didn't like it. What if I take the light that's in the scene and I crank the intensity to like 1,000? And then it slowly rolls back into the normal intensity. So it just flashes the screen with like super blinding light and then goes back to normal afterwards. I think that will be really cool. All right, so I'm quickly gonna make an animation for this. I didn't set up IK bones on this, and these are like the rig for this is kind of terrible. I made this before I knew what I was doing. So, it's everything is purple because the global light is using a picture that I don't have anymore. I must have deleted it or it's not plugged in or whatever. It can stay purple. It's fine. It doesn't matter. So the first thing, the idle can stay like this. So I'm just going to do I. And you don't have to make this. Obviously, you could just use the one. I'll upload the animation to the description of the video. The whole project will be in the description of the video. But anyway, so we want him to like go down a little bit. So like at 20, we want him to like kind of shrink. So he goes down like this. So to do this, if we go R, because he's got to be above the ground with like his knees and stuff. But I don't know. That's too far, maybe. Okay. So we'll take these two and press G and Z. It just moves down like just a little bit. None of my legs or anything is attached together. That's crazy. So, by the way, so I'm just pressing Control 3 there to get a side view. So if you press 3, it gives you like this side, and if you press Control 3, it gives you like the other side. If you do this in the side view, it locks it on the axis. It makes it a lot easier. So if we move this like this, we want to make sure that this, oh crap. We want to make sure the staff moves, oh man, exactly with him like this. And then we can do that. So let's see what we have. Did I save it at the beginning? Oh, I didn't save all the bones at the beginning. I didn't have them all selected. Okay, so okay, we'll call this card. Then we'll go to idle. Copy the pose. Go back to card. Paste the pose. Paste. And then I. Okay, so now it should be the right one. Okay, so the animation that we have to look at the most is in the left side, like right here, because it's a top-down game. It's super important you look at it from the top down because this is how you're going to see it. So I think what we need to do is we need to rotate this arm like this, and then move the staff over here. So then we can do this. I think we should rotate it way more than that, actually. So like, so I'm pressing R and Z, by the way. And I don't know, I can't really see it good. So he puts his staff kind of sideways, and then he's gonna throw it in the air to do the light spell. That's when the whole thing is gonna like light up the room or whatever. So let's do this. And so it's going to be pretty abrupt. So uh, maybe this arm should come up too. So he's doing the spell with both hands. Okay, let's see. So he comes down a little bit and he throws his hands up. So we're just duplicating this keyframe here. So he pauses when he's down for a little bit before he throws his stuff up. And let's see. Wow, I'm really liking this animation so far. Okay, so let's Control D to duplicate this. And so then the very first frame, we're going to duplicate that as well so that he goes back to where he started. And I think this looks incredible. Like, this looks pretty good. I don't know. Okay, so then we just need, let me save this before I lose this. Hang on, save. And so then we want to push this action down onto the armature. And then we just want to save, and then we can export the animation. So export FBX and create a new folder. We'll just call this animations. And then so we only want the NLA strips, pretty much. And really all we want is the one animation. So we'll probably import it, copy the animation, and then delete the thing. Okay, so that's it for the animation. That's probably like obviously the hardest part. And then we just need to flash the screen. Okay, so I dragged the character into Unity. You can see it here. And I just copied the card animation and I pasted it here. And I'm just going to delete the character from the thing. And then we just need to add this to the animator controller for our player. So let's go into the character controller. And it looks like I already have some spell stuff in here, but let's just create a new empty and we'll call this card. And then we just need to go and find that animation that we just made, put it into the slot, and then we could save this. So then in the player attack script, we're just going to minimize everything here, and if input dot get key, we'll just put like R for right now. It doesn't matter. Or actually, I think R's already taken. Let's do K for right now, and we just want to see if this works or not. So if we do player dot animator dot play, and then we put card, we'll be able to see if this plays or not. Okay, so we press K. Okay, and it doesn't go back to walking afterwards, so we need to set that up. So we basically need this exact script here. Actually, this is the light card. Let's just do that. Let's turn that one. So light card. There we go. So the player card becomes null. We play a card. We wait for 0.3 seconds. So he has time to like put his hand in the air, but it's going to be a little bit longer, it looks like. And then we instantiate the light card spell, but we're actually not going to do this. We're going to flash the game light. So let's delete that. And then after it waits, then it goes back. Okay, so let's try this again. Hang on. Okay, so we press K. And it doesn't look like it's doing anything. Oh, because we have to start it as a coroutine, I think. Coroutine, like card. And then this needs to go back to being an enumerator. Huh. Okay, so we didn't start it as a coroutine. That's why it didn't work. Okay, so we press K, and he does it. So he throws his thing in the air, and then he goes back to doing what he was doing. I feel like it should maybe be slower, but I'll work on the perfecting it off camera. But anyway, so then we want to flash the light. So instead of waiting 0.6 seconds here, we need to do a for each or a for loop. We also need to have the light in here. So let's do public light, main light, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if this is saved. This might be in a player variable somewhere as well. So right here, we'll set main light dot intensity to 1000. Okay, so it's gonna slowly lower the light intensity over the time frame, and then when it's done lowering it to 6, it will go back, and then we need to set the main light intensity to be 1 again, or whatever it was. I think I had a 2 for a little bit as well, so I'm not sure if that's anyway. Let's just see if this works now. So we press K. Oh, we didn't actually add the reference. So inside of our character, we need to go to the player attack script, and we need to drag the light from the scene into the slot. All right, here we go. Okay, so it needs to do this over a less period of time. So instead of waiting, I think it's 2, right? 006? I don't know. Let's see how that goes. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so that will make it go down over a longer period of time, and maybe it will get closer to 0 or even less than 0. Yeah, okay, so that's obviously going too far. Okay, so if we go to 200 and we're subtracting that, that should go to exactly 1, right? 200 times 5 is 1000. Okay. All right, so then we want to kill everything in the room, or we want to find all of the enemies in the room and then damage them. So I think what we should do is only have it. We could do like a check sphere around the character and do damage that way. Okay, so this gives us a list of colliders. Okay, so here we need to damage the enemy. So let's go to our spell script. I'm gonna drag it over here. Can I make this static? Sure, why not? Okay, so don't need that. And E should be capitalized. And then we can call spell dot handle enemy attack because it's collider is obsolete. Okay, so we don't need to push it back because we're just doing the spell. It's not gonna actually have a direction at all. And so this should work, maybe. So it should kill everything in the room, potentially. I might have broke the spell script by making that static. We're going to find out in a second here. So let's see if I can still hit the enemies. I can. I used the spell. They died. Did it play their death effect, though? I'm not sure if I saw that. Oh, okay. Dude, what are you doing? No, no. I wasn't even looking at the spikes at all. Okay. Please be a room with enemies. I gotta make more rooms with enemies. This is getting ridiculous. I don't have any enemies in any of my rooms. We're just gonna restart. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna restart. Okay, so press K. Okay, so it just killed them. How much damage am I doing here? For each collider, it checks if it has that. It does the player's damage times the damage multiplier. Okay, so instead of doing damage, player's damage, the light spell shouldn't be based on that anyway. Let's just do -1. And so this should only happen once. So if the player's health, if the enemy's health is above 0, unless this coroutine is happening multiple times. So if the player's state is idle, you got to add that. So then, and the player state is idle. So that way we can, inside of here, we can say that it's attacking. So that way he won't cast. Okay, so he's just, the reason is just casting it a billion times at once. You just can't see it because, yeah, you can't see it. Okay, so let's see if this works now. So -1 should not kill everything. And so do it again. Okay, so the light is not, it's getting it's subtracting way too much. So main light intensity is 100 minus I times 5. I times 5 will eventually be 200. So this needs to be I times wait. Oh my goodness. Where's my calculator? 200 divided by 5 is 40. So at 200 times 5 is that. So this doesn't need to be times 5. It just needs to be 1. Times 0.5. Because then it will be half. So 200 times 0.5. Yeah, it's 100. Okay. So that would take it to 1. Because before it's going below 1. So let's see how that looks. Okay, I think that looks pretty sweet. So let's see. Okay, and so the other thing is, like, we're obviously not going to do 1 damage for the card. So we want it to do 15 damage. So this should kill pretty much everything, because you're not going to have the card very often, right? Like, it's a rare thing that you're not always going to have. So okay, we just need to find some enemies now. Here we go. Boom, they're dead. But it didn't play the death effect of them, unless I just didn't see it. Oh, these guys can't die. Okay. They're invincible. Oh, it did play a death effect. Okay, so those ones played. All right, so that's looking pretty sweet. So then the other thing we need to do is we need to get rid of the picture of the card. And you should only be able to do this when you have the card. So if you press K and player.card is not equal to null. Okay, so because you're only supposed to be able to cast this when you actually have the card, and also when you use this, when it's used, you should. So we're setting the card to be null here. We also need to remove the image. So player card. No. So in the UI, what did I save this as? Card panel. Okay, so I didn't import this at the beginning. So we need to do that. So right here, I'll just do, actually, we'll just do it right here. So player dot card. We have to actually make it actually. So go to the player first, and then right in the card area right here. Okay, so then in the initialize player, we can do player dot player card panel. And then public game object. Okay, so then if we save this, we can go into our player, and in the initialize player, we'll drag this card panel into the slot. Okay, and then in the card or the attack right here, we'll just set player dot player card panel dot set active false. So when you use the light card spell, it should disable the UI panel that shows the light card. So if we find the card here, and there's only one card right now, we'll just drag this into the game. Doesn't matter. Whoa. Okay, so we have the light card. We press K. He uses it. It disappears. Let's drop another light card in here. So we pick it up. Press K. He uses it. It disappears. If you press K and you don't have the card, it doesn't do anything. So we have a null reference here. What is this? Okay, so we need to make sure that the player card is not null. So if player So we're only doing this if the card isn't null, because this check is throwing an error. So we don't want that error there. All right, so let's go to this other room. There we go. Boom. That looks really sweet. All right, so that's going to be it for the day. I'm going to upload the entire project in the description of the video for free. So you're welcome to download this and use it however you want to. If you guys are enjoying the series, make sure you like my video and subscribe to my channel. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one.